let's take the cameras on location to South Jones and meet up with Chris Sullivan and his special attorney friend.
Hi, thanks a lot, Rich. Hi, again, I'm Chris Sullivan from the law firm of Sullivan, Brown, Krolikowski, and Gordon. Today's episode, we're going to talk about buying a FSBO, a for sale by owner home. The first thing you want to do after you identify the house that you're interested in is go to a title company and pull a preliminary title report. That title report is going to ensure that the person who's selling you the house has title to the house. It's also going to show you what kind of liens are on the property, whether they're simple liens like a sewer lien or a mechanics lien, something a little bit more serious. From there, you're going to want to determine what are you buying the house for? Are you buying the house for an investment so that you can turn around and make some money on it, relatively quickly, or are you actually buying this house to live in it for the long term? That's going to help you in determining what you're going to want to pay for the house. Without a realtor, it's kind of hard to pull comps, but one of the better ways to do that is to get on the assessor's website. Pull up the neighborhood on the assessor's website and start looking at recent sales. Those indicators are going to tell you what the square footage of the house is, so that you know whether it's comparable to the house that you're buying, and it's also going to tell you whether or not you're in the right price range for your offer.
Also, Chris, don't forget, Adam Krolikowski here again, partners with Chris Sullivan at Sullivan, Brown, Krolikowski, and Gordon. And you got to use the entire neighborhood. We're in the type of market right now where you're going to have the benefit of open houses. A lot of homes are on the market. So you can go and you can take a peek at other homes in the area and see what the prices are going for and compare those to the one that you have your eye on. And you can pick your spot and also take into consideration what purpose you want to use the home for. You're going to have a feeling for how the homes are selling in the market, how quickly they're selling, or if you see the same homes over and over again.
That's right. And then once you get an idea of what you want to pay for the house, you're going to want to try to figure out how much money you can put down. This is typically called an earnest deposit. An earnest deposit is basically a good faith deposit that shows that you're earnest, that you're serious about buying the house. The earnest deposits typically run about 2% of the purchase price, and that's just kind of ballpark figure. So you're going to want to put that down when you go to open up escrow. You'll need to establish a title company that you're going to want to go to here in the state of Nevada. Open up that escrow, deposit your earnest money. Then you're going to start looking at financing options. Most people don't have the cash to just go out and buy a house and write a check. So you start looking at loans. Whether you're a veteran, you might go get a VA loan. You might, if you're a first-time buyer, you could go get an FHA loan, Federal Housing Authority. Or you might just go get a conventional loan. Conventional loans differ, especially now that the subprime market has taken a dump. You're looking at maybe 20-25% down to get a pretty good rate. This is going to help you, obviously, when you're trying to figure out your monthly payment, whether you can afford it or not.
That takes us to another area. When you're looking to buy a home, do things a smart way. If you know you've got some problem credit, do things to clean up your FICO score. If you're going to have a substantial down payment, besides the earnest money, keep the money in the bank. A lot of loans are going to require a showing that you have money in the bank for a certain amount of time before they're going to qualify you for the loan program. Now, you're going to want to talk to a mortgage broker or someone that's dealing with loans to get all that information, but that's one of the things to take into consideration.
Another important thing is, once you have established the price that you want to pay for the house and what you think your monthly payment can be, you want to make sure that this house can stand up. You might want to go get an inspection for the house, and there's all kinds of inspectors out there. They'll do everything from a roof inspection, pool inspection, structural inspections. Termites don't seem to be much of an issue out here in Nevada, but there's a host of other things that could go wrong. So you want to get a good quality inspector, someone that's licensed, bonded, and can come out and do you a quick job. At the same time, you're going to want to hire an appraiser. Hire a reputable appraiser. Don't just go get Joe Blow that you never met, some guy off the street that's done it once or twice. You want to make sure that the person that you're hiring actually knows what they're doing.
Absolutely. I mean, there are a lot of cases where you want to take advantage of someone who is a certified appraiser and have them come out and do a certified appraisal, something that you can rely on, both for yourself and for whoever is going to give you the loan. And it's going to give you a basis for the future, and it'll give you a point to work from if you do want to sell the home or if you're looking to use it for investment purposes.
A lot of the litigation cases that we're seeing right now are cases that are against appraisers. The appraisers have been going around town, especially when the market was hot back in 2003, 2004. They were overinflating the houses, and creating all these kind of real estate scams. Now we're starting to see it come to fruition, where they're all coming in our door and saying, hey, we hired the wrong appraiser. Don't make that mistake. Hire a good appraiser. It makes all the difference in the world.
Absolutely.
The next thing you're going to want to do, once you get that appraisal, and while you're still in the negotiation stage, if you can afford it, is you want to figure out who's paying what. In terms of transfer taxes are typically going to be paid by the seller, but there's a whole host of costs that are negotiable. Those type of things we could go into. That's a whole show all in itself. So if you're not really sure what you're going to pay in terms of sewer fees, taxes, inspections, the appraisal, fungal contamination, land surveys, those are the type of things you may want to call a lawyer. There's certifications you can get as well. You can get a fungal certification, a roof certification, a septic certification, well certifications. And these are all things, again, that are negotiable. A seller that's going to stand by his house and that's motivated may pick up the tab. So watch for that if you can.
Well, keeping those things in mind and understanding that all the things that go into buying a house and looking for investment or a place to live, you may want to contact a professional. You may think about contacting an attorney. If you don't contact us, contact somebody if you have any question at all. The worst thing you can do is get into one of the biggest investments of your life and not have the right information or not know specifically what you're trying to do. And those are areas that we can help in and help guide you through those things.
The old saying is an ounce of prevention prevents a pound of cure. And that's exactly what you need to do here in these kind of cases. Do your homework up front, ask the questions, call the professionals, and make sure you do it right so that you don't wind up in litigation or wind up with a house that's a lemon.
Exactly. Well, thanks for listening to us, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for tuning in.